Hey everyone and welcome. Today we are going to completely level up your AI skills. We're breaking down a couple of simple but honestly super powerful techniques. These are going to help you get exactly what you want from AI instead of those, robotic, generic answers. So let's jump right in.
So, have you ever been in this situation? You ask an AI tool for something really specific, and what you get back is just a wall of text that's vague, not very helpful, and kind of boring. Yeah, if that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. It is a super common frustration, but the good news is it's actually pretty easy to fix. And that really gets us to the heart of the issue, what I like to call the prompting problem. See, a lot of the time, the problem isn't the AI at all. It's the quality of our instructions, our prompts. It really helps if you think of the AI less like a search engine and more like a really smart but very literal assistant who needs crystal clear directions to do a good job. Okay, so take a look at this. On one side, you have a pretty standard vague prompt, explain agile methodology. And the result? Well, it's exactly what you'd expect, a generic textbook definition. I mean, it's not wrong, but it's not that useful, is it? It doesn't have any context, no personality, and no real purpose. And this is what it all boils down to, as our source material from CodeWave puts it so well. The structure and clarity of those prompts play a major role in the quality of the response. It really is that simple. If you give the AI better instructions, you are going to get better results every single time. So how do we actually build these better instructions? Well, our first tool is this fantastic little acronym called CRAFT. Think of it like a simple recipe or a checklist for building a detailed and really effective prompt. First up, we've got C for context. You've got to set the scene. You need to give the AI the background info it needs to understand the bigger picture. Who is this for? What's the situation? Why do you even need this? Next up is R for role. And let me tell you, this one is an absolute game changer. You need to assign the AI a persona. Don't just ask it a question, tell it to act as an expert. Tell it to be a software tester, or a product coach, or a hiring manager. This one little change instantly shapes its entire point of view. Then we have A for action. This is where you have to be direct. What is the specific thing you want the AI to do? Tell it to summarize, or analyze, or write something, or maybe compare two things. Using a clear, strong verb here makes all the difference. Now F is for format. And honestly, this one is just a huge time saver. How do you want the answer to look? Do you want it in bullet points, in a table, maybe as a professional email? When you specify the format, you get a response that's already structured exactly how you need it. No more tedious editing. And finally, we have T for tone. This is all about the vibe. How should the response feel? Do you need it to be professional and formal, or maybe friendly and engaging? You could even ask for it to be humorous. The tone can completely change the impact of the final result. And here is where it all comes together so beautifully. With a basic prompt, you get confusion. But when you apply the CRF framework, you get clarity. For instance, instead of just asking about Agile, imagine a prompt like this. You are an Agile coach. That's the role. Talking to a brand new team. That's the context. Now create a structured summary. That's the action. Using bullet points. That's the format. And make it sound simple and engaging. That's the tone. The difference in what you get back is just night and day. Okay, so we've pretty much mastered telling the AI what we do want. But to really get those perfect results, it can be just as powerful to tell it what we don't want. And that brings us to our second key technique, something called negative prompts. So what exactly is a negative prompt? Well, it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's a specific instruction that tells the AI what to exclude or avoid. Think of it as your secret weapon for fine-tuning your results, and it's especially powerful when you're generating images with tools like Stable Diffusion or Midjourney. Let's look at an example. Say you generate this really cute picture of a fox, but you're thinking, I don't really want the glasses. Well, you can't just tell it to remove the glasses. Instead, you would use a negative prompt to tell the AI to generate that same image, but this time to actively avoid putting glasses on it. And the process for this is actually incredibly simple. First, you create your initial prompt, describing what you do want. Then, you look at the result and identify anything you don't like. Step 3, you create your negative prompt by just listing those things to exclude. Then you just pop both prompts into the tool and hit generate. It's that easy. And hey, this is not just for pictures. Let's say you need a professional medical explanation. Your main prompt might ask for the symptoms of the flu, but you can use a negative prompt to make sure the AI avoids things like slang or jokes or any informal language. This keeps the tone serious and right on point. So there you have it. In just a few minutes, you've added 2 incredibly effective new techniques to your personal AI toolkit. This is how you really start to take control and become the director of your AI-generated content, not just a passive user. And to make things even easier for you, here is a super handy cheat sheet. It shows some really common negative prompts and what they do. For example, if you want a sharper image, just add blurry or low quality to your negative prompt. If you want to avoid those weird distorted hands in portraits, add bad anatomy or extra limbs. It's a great little starting point for cleaning up your AI images. So here's the most important takeaway. You use the CRF framework to build a strong, clear, and detailed foundation for what you want. And then you use negative prompts to refine that output and steer the AI away from anything you don't want. It's all about structure plus refinement. That's the key. So think about it. You've gone from just sort of asking vague questions to actually architecting your instructions. You now have the recipe for getting more creative, more precise, and way more useful results from pretty much any AI you use. So the only question left is, now that you have the recipe, what will you create?